Hey everyone, welcome back to another Dodd Financial Bookkeeping and Tax training session. So this is going to be the first video in our series on creating a strategic budget, and it's going to be a series of videos so that we don't overwhelm ourselves with doing an entire budget this way right off the bat. So the difference in how we're going to do this budget compared to what you're used to is everything is going to be based off of a fundamental business driver. Nothing, and we're going to start with our income statement or our P&L, and nothing on our actual budget P&L, the summary sheet, is going to be a hard-coded number. Every line, every number is going to be based off of some sort of metric and driver. And we can get into why that's important as we go through these videos. So I'm going to do this in Excel. I find Excel to be extremely dynamic and diverse for whatever we need it to do. Obviously, if you're using QuickBooks or Xero, it has a budget function in it. I like the versatility of Excel in creating a budget and what we can do with it. So that's my preferred method of preparing a budget. So the way I would approach this, if you're watching these and learning how to put this budget together, is watch one training video. We're going to do one line at a time, and some lines may take us a couple of videos, but we're going to do one line on the P&L at a time. So watch the videos, follow along with it, and then stop, take it offline, and prepare that line of your budget. And that way we can kind of do a step-by-step process and you won't get overwhelmed. Doing a budget this way is very, very intense. It's very, very detailed, and you will be better off in the future doing it this way. And once you create the template one time, in future years for future budgets, you won't have to start from the beginning, right? You just update your metrics. So put in the effort, put in the time up front, and you'll be better off for it long term. So let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a budget for my entire year 2025, and I'm going to compare it to my 2024 year. So let's put in our months. Doesn't matter where you start. Start with whatever cell makes you the most comfortable. Let's see. Let's go. I like to keep mine all caps. All right. I'm going to put in the first couple of months, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to highlight them. Grab this little box here, drag it across. That way we can get it all into December. I like it bold. I like it centered. And I like having a year-to-date tab. Keep forgetting I have my caps locked on. And I like having prior year total, so I can do some comparisons to the previous year. First line on our P&L. If you want to familiarize yourself with the P&L a little bit more, you can see some of our other training videos on our financial statement overviews. And anytime you want to take a look at some of the more detail of each individual line item, we do have training videos on our YouTube channel that include deep dives into the different lines, what goes into them, how they work. So you can pause anytime and go check those out. All right, we're going to start with our sales revenue. First section of the income statement. Okay. So let's take a look at some examples of putting together sales revenue. We're going to fill out these sections here. Okay. For each line and for each metric that I would like to dive into, I want a separate tab so that I can reference it really easily on how it was put together. So I'm going to call this one sales revenue. And we'll do a couple of different examples. So let's do an example where we have our current customer base and they have a recurring subscription. Okay, so let's do that. So let's do recurring subscription, current clients and customers. Okay, so that'll be our first section. Let's say going into 2025, we're going to have a customer base of 200 customers. Actually, I tell you what, let's do customer base. Let's label everything we do so it's very clear. Customer base, we're going to go to 2025, the customer base of 200. And for my recurring services for these customers, the revenue, recurring revenue on average for each of those customers. We're going to call it $100 a month. Okay, so each of those customers have a subscription with us for $100 a month. I'm going to take the cents out. I don't really like that kind of detail, but personal preference. If you want the cents, you can put the cents in. Okay, so this one's super easy. So what is my total per month? Whoops. Total per month equals my 200 clients times subscription I get. I'm going to make $20,000 a month. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make some detail here. I'm going to put a line in because I want that sales revenue line to be my summary. So I'm going to insert a line above it. And I'm going to say recurring subscriptions, current customers. Okay. Equals, again, we're not hard coding any numbers on this sheet, equals total per month. Now, if you do control or function F4, depending on the type of Excel that you're using, it puts in these dollar signs. The dollar sign tells Excel not to move from this letter. The dollar sign in front of the number tells it not to move from that number. So if you have a dollar sign in front of E, it will always reference this column no matter where you drag that formula. And if you have dollar sign in front of the 7, it will always reference row 7 no matter where you drag that formula. So if I put dollar signs in front of both and press enter, whenever I drag this, it will always use that same cell as a reference. Makes it a little quicker and easier. I'm going to get rid of these cents. I don't like having it in cents. Okay, my year to date. Whoops, sum equals sum. I'm going to highlight what I want to sum up, and I would like to sum up this whole row. All right, that one's super simple. Doesn't take much. Now, getting a little more complicated. Let's go with a recurring subscription. New customers. Okay, first question. How are we getting new customers? How do we estimate how many new customers we're going to get? So let's do this logically. So I know, let's say I get new customers by marketing, by social media marketing, okay? So my social media marketing new clients I get. Let's say I'm looking at my data for 2024. And if you're just starting up, you won't have data for 2024, and that's okay. You can look up industry metrics. You can look up average metrics for your type of sales. That data is out there. You can go look for it, and you can use those ratios. But let's say we get 50 new clients for every, and let me expand this out a little bit. Let's say we get 50 new clients for every, let's say $500 we spend. Whoops. Spend $500. Okay. So, how much does it cost me to get one customer? Cost per customer. Well, $500 divided by the 50 I get, it costs me $10 to acquire a new customer. Perfect. Now, what's my marketing budget for social media marketing? Marketing budget. I've looked at my available equity for investing in this year, and I'm willing to put forward, let's say, $5,000 a month in my marketing budget. Okay. So based on that $5,000 a month, new customer estimate. Okay. My new customer estimate is going to be the $5,000 I'm investing divided by $10 to get every new customer, I can expect to get 500 new customers a month with this marketing budget. Now, when I get a new client, looking at 2024 or using an industry metric or ratio or your best estimate, let's say we're going to do, revenue per new customer. Okay. So I'm noticing that on average, when I get a new customer, and remember, we're doing recurring subscription for new customers, a little easier because if they're signing up, they're going to be recurring. So I know that the recurring revenue is $100 for this service. Okay. So this makes it a little easier. It's going to be $100 per new customer in revenue. So revenue per month is going to be my $100 per new customer. So equals my $100 times my new customers acquired, $50,000 a month. Going to be looking at a pretty good year this year. I'm increasing by 250%. So that's pretty good. All right, so I'm going to come over here. So now I have my new revenue per month. What is that based off of? It's based off of some things that I do know, right? It's based off the fact that I know it costs me $10 per customer, per new customer. I'm going to put in $5,000 per month into this marketing method, which means that I'm going to get 500 new customers. This service is $100 per month, so I can estimate my revenue per month based on some stuff that I have pretty good knowledge of, right? We're not just guessing here. We're using some very specific things. Okay, I'm going to add a new line because I like to keep these separate so that later I can evaluate how well this is going. So this is going to be recurring subscription, new customers. Okay, it's a good start here. We're going to come over here. Equals our revenue per month. I'm going to do function or control, depending on your keyboard, F4 to put my dollar signs in here. Press enter. There's my 50. I'm going to drag that across. And because I copied and pasted this line, this formula already exists to total it all up. And I've got it. Got my recurring subscription, new customers ready to go. Now, I've got a couple lines going. I'm going to go ahead, equals sum of my revenue streams. Okay. I don't want any dollar signs in here because I want the column to change as I drag it across. I want it to calculate each new column. Okay. And I'm going to drag this one down. And see, when I drag it down, it automatically sums that up. All right. And I'm getting going. So that's the recurring subscriptions. And in the next video, we'll start going over some more in-depth revenue streams. We'll put together a manufacturing a product, selling a manufactured product. We can do, we'll put a line in there for purchasing something that you sell. So maybe you sell through a marketplace. And then we will also put together, let's see, we can do like a new product or a new service that's not a recurring subscription. So we'll look at trying to estimate a one-time purchase. So it say someone's putting in a new water heater and I sell water heaters. They're not going to need one every single month. We're going to do probably one every few years. So we'll look at how to estimate revenue from that. So we got a good start, and we'll see you in the next video.